Europe just issued a chilling warning. 450 million people told to stockpile food for 72 hours. Why? Fears of war, cyber attacks, and supply chain chaos. If governments are urging preparation, shouldn't we? Today, I'm revealing 6 must-have foods you'll regret not stockpiling when crisis strikes. Stay ahead. Hit subscribe and let's dive in. 1. White rice. The ultimate survival staple. Let's kick things off with a survival classic, white rice. Now before you dismiss it as boring or basic, hear me out. When disaster strikes, like Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, people weren't scrambling for fancy quinoa or gourmet pasta. They were fighting over plain, simple white rice. Why? Because it's one of the most reliable, long-lasting, and versatile foods you can have in your pantry. Here's the kicker. White rice, when stored properly, can last up to 30 years. Yes, you read that right. 3 decades. That means the rice you stockpile today could still be feeding your family long after your kids are grown. It's no wonder experts call it a survivalist's best friend. But here's where most people go wrong. They buy a bag of rice, toss it in the pantry, and think they're set. Big mistake. Those store-bought bags are riddled with tiny holes that let in moisture, air, and worst of all, bugs. Trust me, there's nothing worse than opening your emergency stash to find it crawling with little black beetles. The solution? It's simpler than you think. Invest in food-grade buckets and oxygen absorbers. These aren't some high-tech, expensive gadgets. They're affordable and easy to find online. Pour your rice into the bucket, toss in an oxygen absorber, seal it up tight, and voila! You've got a stash that's practically immortal. This method keeps out moisture, pests, and air, ensuring your rice stays fresh and ready to eat for decades. But white rice isn't just about survival, it's also a smart financial move. With inflation driving up grocery prices, buying rice in bulk is a no-brainer. It's cheap, filling, and can stretch a meal like nothing else. Plus, it's incredibly versatile. From stir-fries to soups to casseroles, rice is the foundation of countless dishes. And in a crisis, versatility is key. You don't want to be stuck eating the same thing every day. So whether you're prepping for a natural disaster, economic collapse, or just trying to save a few bucks, white rice is a must-have. It's not flashy, but it's reliable, affordable, and when stored correctly, practically eternal. Don't underestimate the power of this humble grain. It could be the difference between going hungry and staying fed when the grocery store shelves are empty. 2. Dried beans. Nature's protein powerhouse. Next up, let's talk about dried beans. If you think beans are just a side dish, think again. These little legumes are a survival superfood, and here's why. When Ukraine faced supply chain chaos in 2022, one of the first things to vanish from store shelves wasn't bread or pasta. It was protein sources like meat, eggs, and dairy. People were literally fighting over the last packages of ground beef. But here's the thing. Beans pack more protein per serving than many types of meat. 1 cup of beans delivers around 15 grams of protein, which is comparable to a decent-sized chicken breast. And the best part, beans have an almost unlimited shelf life when stored properly. We're talking 30 years or more. That's why emergency food guidelines from experts, like those at the University of Georgia, emphasize the importance of stocking up on staples like beans, wheat, and corn. These are the same foods that sustained entire civilizations for thousands of years. Our ancestors knew what they were doing, and it's time we took a page from their book. But here's where most people mess up. They think beans are hard to cook or require a full kitchen setup. Not true. During the Texas freeze in 2021, when millions lost power, smart preppers were sprouting their beans with nothing but water. In just a few days, they had fresh, crunchy, nutrient-packed food. No stove, no electricity, no problem. And if you do have a heat source, even something as small as a camping stove or a candle, you can slow-cook beans in a thermos. Just pour boiling water over pre-soaked beans, seal the thermos, wrap it in towels, and let it sit overnight. By morning, you've got perfectly cooked beans ready to eat. Nutritionally, beans are a powerhouse. They're loaded with iron, fiber, potassium, and folate, essential nutrients your body needs to survive and thrive. Plus, they're incredibly filling. 1 cup of beans will keep you satisfied far longer than processed snacks or sugary junk food. And here's a bonus. Studies show that people who eat beans regularly live longer and have lower rates of heart disease. So stocking up on beans isn't just about survival, it's about long-term health. When it comes to storage, beans are as low maintenance as it gets. Just like rice, You'll want to use Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers, then store them in sealed buckets. This setup keeps them safe from moisture, pests and air, ensuring they stay fresh for decades. And the cost? It's ridiculously low. For around $30 to $40 you can get 20 pounds of mixed beans, enough to make hundreds of meals. Compare that to the cost of meat or canned goods, and it's clear why beans are a prepper's dream. So while everyone else is panic buying overpriced steaks and perishable foods, you'll be sitting pretty with a stash of beans that's nutritious, affordable, and built to last. In a crisis, protein is king, and beans are the undisputed champion. Don't sleep on this survival essential. It could be the key to keeping your family fed and healthy when times get tough. 3. Canned meats, the life-saving protein backup. Let's get real for a second. Canned meats might not sound glamorous, but when disaster strikes, they're nothing short of a lifesaver. Imagine this. It's day 5 of a massive blackout. Your freezer's been off for days, and that expensive grass-fed beef you splurged on, it's now a biohazard, reeking so badly it could clear a room. But you know what's still perfectly edible? That dusty can of chicken you forgot about in the back of your pantry. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Canned meats are survival gold. While the USDA gives them a conservative shelf life of 2 to 5 years, preppers have been known to crack open cans from the 90s and find them perfectly fine. The key is proper storage. Keep them in a cool, dry place, and avoid cans that are dented, bulging, or rusty. If you do that, these cans can last decades, making them one of the most reliable protein sources you can stockpile. Now let's talk options. You've got your traditional cans in vacuum-sealed pouches. While cans are the classic choice, pouches have their own advantages. They're lightweight, portable, and don't require a can opener. Just tear them open and you're good to go. This makes them ideal for grab-and-go situations, like evacuations. The trade-off: pouches have a shorter shelf life, usually around 6 months to a year, but they're still a solid option for short-term emergencies. The protein content in canned meats is another reason they're a must-have. A single serving can pack 20 to 25 grams of protein, which is crucial when you're burning extra calories from stress, manual labor, or just trying to survive. And let's not forget variety. From chicken and beef, to pork, salmon, and even canned bacon, the options are endless. Having a mix of flavors and textures can do wonders for morale when everything else feels bleak. But here's a pro tip that could save you a lot of frustration. Look for cans with pull tabs. In an emergency, the last thing you want is to be fumbling around for a can opener that may or may not work. And remember, storage is critical. Don't stash your canned meats in the garage or any place where temperatures fluctuate wildly. Heat is the enemy of canned goods, so keep them in a cool, stable environment to maximize their shelf life. Canned meats aren't just about survival, they're about smart preparation. They're affordable, long-lasting, and packed with the nutrients your body needs to keep going. So while everyone else is scrambling for perishable protein sources, you'll be sitting pretty with a stash that's ready to go whenever you need it. 4. Honey, the eternal superfood. If there's one food that truly stands the test of time, it's honey. This golden nectar isn't just a sweet treat, it's a survival essential, with a history that's as fascinating as it is practical. Picture this. In 1922, archaeologists opened King Tut's tomb and found jars of honey that were over 3,000 years old. And guess what? It was still perfectly edible. Fast forward to 2012, and researchers in Georgia discovered honey that was 5,500 years old, older than the pyramids, and still good to eat. If that doesn't convince you of honey's staying power, I don't know what will. So what makes honey so special? For starters, it's a powerhouse of energy. With 304 calories per 100 grams, honey provides a quick and sustained energy boost, thanks to its unique combination of glucose and fructose. Unlike processed sugars that cause energy crashes, honey keeps your blood sugar stable, making it an ideal fuel source during a crisis. Whether you're dealing with physical labor, stress, or just trying to stay alert, honey has your back. But honey isn't just about calories, it's also nature's first aid kit. It contains natural hydrogen peroxide, making it a powerful antibacterial agent. Ancient Egyptians used honey in 30% of their medical prescriptions, and even today it's endorsed by organizations like the World Health Organization as a natural remedy for coughs and minor wounds. In a survival scenario, having honey on hand could mean the difference between a minor scrape and a serious infection. And let's not forget its barter value. In a world where supply chains are broken and food is scarce, honey becomes a hot commodity. It's not just food, it's medicine, energy, and even a morale booster. The psychological comfort of a spoonful of honey can't be overstated when everything else feels uncertain. The science behind honey's longevity is nothing short of amazing. Its low water content, less than 18%, and acidic pH create an environment where bacteria simply can't survive. Bees even add enzymes from their stomachs that produce hydrogen peroxide, essentially engineering the perfect survival food. As long as you keep the lid sealed and avoid introducing water, honey will never go bad. Unlike freeze-dried meals that require special storage or preparation, honey is as low maintenance as it gets. It doesn't need refrigeration, fancy packaging, or even a spoon, just a jar and a secure lid. And while it might not seem like much, honey's versatility makes it invaluable. Use it as a sweetener, an energy booster, or even a wound dressing. The ancient Egyptians believed honey was so essential that they buried it with their pharaohs, thinking it would sustain them in the afterlife. If it was good enough for eternity, it's definitely good enough for your emergency stash. So whether you're prepping for a natural disaster, economic collapse, or just want a reliable food source, honey is a no-brainer. It's the ultimate combination of nutrition, longevity, and practicality, and it deserves a prime spot in your pantry. 5. Pasta, the underrated survival hero. Let's talk about pasta, the unsung hero of survival food. Sure, it might seem like just another pantry staple, but when it comes to long-term food storage and crisis preparation, pasta is a game changer. That box of spaghetti sitting in your cupboard, it's not just dinner, it's a lifeline. Properly stored, pasta can last over 20, yes, you heard that right, 25 years. That's not just food storage, that's a legacy. Your kids could inherit your pasta stash and still have enough to feed their own families. But pasta isn't just about longevity, it's about comfort. In times of chaos and uncertainty, familiar foods like pasta can provide a sense of normalcy that's worth its weight in gold. Think about it: when everything feels like it's falling apart, a warm bowl of spaghetti or mac and cheese isn't just a meal, it's a memory. It's Sunday dinners with family, it's comfort, it's home. The psychological value of comfort food during a crisis is massive, and pasta delivers that in spades. From a storage perspective, pasta is a prepper's dream. Unopened dry pasta is good for 2 years in its original packaging, but that's just the official line. In reality, pasta can last much longer, up to 10 years or more if stored properly. The secret: keep it dry and protect it from moisture. Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers are your best friends here. Seal your pasta in these, and you're looking at decades of shelf life. The reason pasta lasts so long is simple: it's dry. Without moisture, bacteria and mold can't grow, making pasta one of the most durable foods you can stockpile. But pasta isn't just about survival, it's about versatility. With one ingredient, you can create an endless variety of meals. Spaghetti, with marinara, mac and cheese, pasta salad, chicken noodle soup, tuna casserole. The list goes on. And here's the kicker: pasta is a meal multiplier. Add it to canned soups or stretch it with vegetables, and you can turn a single can of soup into a meal for 4. That's not just smart, it's survival math. And let's not forget the cost. Pasta is one of the cheapest calories you can buy. A pound of pasta costs about $1, maybe $2 for the fancy stuff. Compare that to freeze-dried meals or other emergency foods, and pasta is a steal. Plus, it's lightweight, compact, and easy to cook. All you need is a heat source and some water, and you've got a hot meal in minutes. Pasta is also a community food. It's something everyone can eat, from kids, to adults, to your elderly neighbors. In a crisis, when you're not just feeding yourself but possibly others, pasta is a lifesaver. It's filling, it's comforting, and it's universally loved. So while it might not seem flashy, pasta is a survival essential that deserves a prime spot in your emergency stash. 6. Freeze-dried meals, the gourmet survival option. Now let's dive into freeze-dried meals, the ultimate in modern survival. A few years ago, I thought these were just overpriced camping rations for people with too much money and too much paranoia. But after seeing them in action during real crises, I've completely changed my tune. Imagine this: an ice storm hits, the power's out for days, and while everyone else is scrambling to grill their thawing freezer meat, you're sitting down to a hot meal of beef stew or chicken teriyaki. That's the magic of freeze-dried meals. The technology behind these meals is incredible. Freeze-dried food can last up to 30 years. Think about that: if you bought some in the 90s, they'd still be good today. That's longer than most of us have been using the internet. And the best part, the quality has skyrocketed in recent years. We're not talking about bland military rations anymore. Today's freeze-dried meals are designed by actual chefs. Companies like Mountain House and ReadyWise are creating dishes like chicken and dumplings, lasagna, and even desserts like apple cobbler. These meals don't just keep you alive, they make you feel like you're dining out, even in the middle of a crisis. One of the biggest advantages of freeze-dried meals is their convenience. They're lightweight, compact, and require minimal preparation. All you need is water, hot or even room temperature, and you've got a meal ready in minutes. This is a game changer in situations where you don't have access to a stove or electricity. During Hurricane Ida, for example, people were able to make hot meals with nothing but cold water and a little patience. The chemical reaction in some of these meals even warms the food up for you. It's like science fiction, but it's real. Now let's talk cost. Yes, freeze-dried meals are more expensive up front, with prices ranging from $8 to $12 per meal. But when you break it down, it's not as pricey as it seems. Most meals feed 2 adults, sometimes 3 if you stretch them with rice or cracker. That's about $4 to $6 per person for a complete, nutritious meal that lasts 3 decades. Compare that to the cost of eating out or even buying perishable groceries, and freeze-dried meals start to look like a bargain. But the real value of freeze-dried meals goes beyond calorie. It's about morale. In a crisis, when everything else feels out of control, sitting down to a meal that tastes good can make a world of difference. It's not just about feeding your body, it's about feeding your soul. The variety available today is staggering, from breakfast options like scrambled eggs with bacon, to dinner dishes like beef stroganoff. Some companies even offer vegetarian and gluten-free options, so there's something for everyone. Storage is another area where freeze-dried meals shine. The pouches are resealable, puncture-resistant, and moisture-proof. They take up about as much space as a paperback book, making them easy to store and transport. And because they're so lightweight, they're perfect for grab-and-go situations. In 2025, with all the uncertainty in the world, freeze-dried meals aren't just a luxury, they're a necessity. They offer a level of convenience, nutrition, and comfort that's hard to beat. Whether you're prepping for a natural disaster, a power outage, or just want peace of mind, having a stash of freeze-dried meals is one of the smartest investments you can make. When everything else is chaos, these meals provide a sense of normalcy that's worth every penny. In uncertain times, preparation isn't just smart, it's essential. Stockpiling the right foods can mean the difference between struggling to survive and thriving through a crisis. From the long-lasting reliability of white rice and dried beans, to the comforting versatility of pasta, the protein-packed convenience of canned meats, the eternal shelf life of honey, and the gourmet ease of freeze-dried meals, these 6 foods are your ultimate survival ally. Each one serves a unique purpose, whether it's providing essential nutrients, boosting morale, or offering decades of shelf life. Together, they create a well-rounded emergency food stash that can sustain you and your loved ones through anything life throws your way. The world is unpredictable, but your preparedness doesn't have to be. Start building your stockpile today, and you'll thank yourself when the unexpected happens. Remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about doing so with dignity, comfort, and peace of mind. Stay ready, stay safe, and as always, don't forget to subscribe for more tips to keep you ahead of the curve.